1994 was an iconic year for British roller coasters, changing the future of theme parks within the UK forever, and is often stated as the year of the roller coaster. For 2 years, the UK held the title of having the tallest and steepest roller coaster in the world, the Pepsi Max Big One. Blackpool Pleasure Beach was founded in 1896 by William George Bean, who was inspired to build an American-style amusement park in the UK. Before he died in 1929, he had built the park into one of Blackpool's greatest attractions. After his death, his son-in-law, Leonard Thompson, took over in 1929, and the park has been owned and operated by the Thompson family ever since. Leonard Thompson was inspired by Walt Disney's Disneyland to try and continue to improve the park. It consistently features in the top 20 most visited amusement parks in the world and has been voted the best theme park in the United Kingdom. The park continues to build bigger and better attractions. The ride we're talking about today, though, was the second hypercoaster ever built by Aerodynamics.
When you design a coaster, I've had so many people come to me and say, it's not really hard to design a coaster.
The first being Magnum XL200 at Cedar Point in Ohio.
In the late 1980s, Jeffrey Thompson, managing director of Blackpool Pleasure Beach, vowed to show the world that his amusement park would scale new heights of daring.
The ride was designed using the latest computer software 3D imaging, and then the plans were transferred to blueprints. The ride began construction during the closed season before its planned opening in 1994. The ride's steelwork was created by Watson Steel of Bolton and featured 12,000 pieces of steel built at different locations throughout the UK. So much in fact that when spread in a line, it would reach from Bolton to Blackpool itself. The steel was transferred to Blackpool and was stored at the nearby Blackpool Airport before being transferred to the park during the closed season. During its transfer, police escorts escorted the pieces down Blackpool's busy promenade.
Breaking new ground. It's bigger and better than previous ones, but the safety principles are all well established. The dividing it up into blocks, the computer control of all the brakes, all that's well practiced and well established, and then will all be tested, of course, before we open to the public.
Slotted between existing attractions, the ride began to rise over Blackpool. The famous Space Tower at the park was relocated to Frontierland in Morecambe to be able to fit the new ride in.
Blackpool Pleasure Beach. How long have you got?
The name, the Pepsi Max Big One, was also a first. A 5-year sponsorship deal on a single attraction worth £5 million with Pepsi. The sponsorship deal would remain until 2011, until the ride was simply renamed the Big One. Because space was so limited for the ride, Jeffrey Thompson's daughter, Fiona Gill-G, created the station using a unique vertical lift mechanism for transferring the trains. The ride would stand at 235 feet looking out over the Irish Sea before a twisted drop and weaving throughout the different attractions of the park. Groundwork began with a ceremony attended by Britain's tallest and fastest man at the time, 7'6" Chris Green and Olympic champion Linford Christie. Some foundations for the ride were dug as deep as 45 feet to find a secure base for the attraction. The cost of the ride was £12 million. The ride officially opened on the 28th of May 1994, the same year that Alton Towers would open Nemesis, and Drayton Manor would open Shockwave.
If you think you can take it, stand up. Shockwave.
The ride's first drop was 205 feet and was extremely forceful, and 3 years after opening in 1997, parts of the drop were reprofiled due to excessive stress on the track. The ride reaches speeds of 85 miles per hour and has over 1 mile of track.
So I'm taking great pleasure in this one. I only regret that I'm at the age I am and feel I shouldn't try it. You see, I might be tempted yet,
The Big One may not be the best roller coaster to open in the UK in 1994, but it was a record breaker and gained huge media attention around the world. Towering over the unique town of Blackpool and attracting millions to the resort after its opening, this UK roller coaster really is an icon.
It's difficult getting new visitors to come to Blackpool, to come to Pleasure Beach. They all think it's a bit old-fashioned, but actually our industry isn't old-fashioned at all. It's innovative, it's new, it changes all the time. And so people that haven't visited Pleasure Beach for maybe 3 or 4 years will come back maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, and they'll see huge changes. And then in 2018, they will see massive changes. It'll be like when we built the big one, the skyline changed of the whole resort.
Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.